of his soldiers. And after he was heavily wounded, he kept on fighting until the last. And he killed himself and fighters around him with a grenade. He did this because he understood who he was fighting, neo-Nazis who were torturing prisoners and killing them. I'm a Russian man, so I have Ivans and Marias in my close family. But when I see such hero who's from Dagestan, who's Dagestani ethnically, when I look at my other soldiers, I want to say that I'm Dagestani too. I'm Chechen, I'm Ingush, Russian, Jewish, from Mordovia, from Ossetia. More than 300 ethnic groups there are in Russia. It's hard to list all of them. I think you understand this. But I am proud with being part of this world, part of this mighty, strong, multi-ethnic people of Russia. And I will never renounce from my statement that Russian and Ukrainian are the same people, even though the people from Ukraine were intimidated or brainwashed by the Nazi propaganda. And some of them even decided to follow the Bandera ideals or other Nazi collaborators who fought on the Hitler's side during Great Patriotic War. And the fact that we are fighting against neo-Nazis is proved by how the hostilities are going. Nationalists and neo-Nazi units that are using foreign mercenaries from the Middle East also, they use civilians as human shields, hiding behind their backs. And we have facts, we have pictures of how they deploy heavy weapons in the residential areas of their cities. And that's how gangsters act. Areas from the kindergartens, from hospitals, they do the opposite. They put their mortar guns, they put their tanks, they put their cannons, and they are taking foreign citizens hostage. Thousands of young people, students who were studying in Ukraine colleges. So for more than one day, they kept more than 3,000 Indian citizens at the train station in Kharkiv, and they continue keeping them there, including 576 people in the city of Sumy. Neo-Nazis opened fire on Chinese students who wanted to leave Kharkiv. 2 of them were wounded. Once again, hundreds of foreigners want to leave the hostility zone, but they are not allowed to do that. Basically, they are taking prisoners, trying to delay their leave, or they want to evacuate them via Lvov to Poland to travel across the entire area of hostilities, thus risking their lives. Our military opened safe passage, green corridors to allow them to leave safely. They are giving them transport so that civilians, foreign citizens, get an opportunity to move to safer zones. And once again, nation leaders are not allowing this to happen. More than that, now they are telling foreigners to appeal to their authorities, and then authorities should address the Ukrainian Foreign Ministry. Basically, they are throwing them under the gunfire, and neo-Nazis treat their own population even worse. They are hiding behind their backs. They are using them as human shield. Our military witnessed such facts as when in Donbass, Severodonetsk, Lysychansk, and other cities, people from the high-risers, they were crowded. And then they were breaking walls in the lower floors, and they were putting their tanks and cannons, putting snipers and machine guns on the roofs. Only fascists used this kind of military tactics. They were inhuman to the local population. And that's when Soviet forces tried to liberate the land from their presence. We tried to avoid casualties among civilians, and unfortunately, they are taking casualty as well. And it is our duty to support the families of the dead and wounded brother-in-arms who were fighting for our safety, for the people of Russia. All the family members of the servicemen who died during the special military operation in Ukraine, they will get the insurance payments that they guaranteed by law, 7,421,000 rubles. And monthly, they will receive a compensation for each family member of those who died. But other than that, I think we should have additional payment to every family of those who died from the Defense Ministry and other law enforcement agencies who participate in the operation, with a lump sum of 5 million rubles. All the servicemen who were wounded during this operation, they will be also getting payment. What I mean is insurance and lump sum for being wounded, being shell-shocked, being injured in any other way. If servicemen will not be able to continue their army service, they will get 2,968,000 rubles. And if they become disabled, they will get monthly welfare. It is already stated by law. But at the same time, I think we should have additional payments for the Defense Ministry servicemen and soldiers from other law enforcement agencies who participate in this operation and are wounded. And I'm talking about 3 million rubles. And once again, now, in the Ukrainian land, our soldiers and officers are fighting for Russia, for a peaceful life, for the people of Donbass, to denazify and demilitarize Ukraine so that no anti-Russia that has been created by the West next to our borders didn't threaten us with nuclear weapons as well, as it was happening recently. Our people is proud of our armed forces. We will always remember our fallen brothers, comrades. We will do everything to support their families, their children, to educate them, to support their close ones and loved ones. So let's honor the memory of our soldiers who died during this special military service with a minute of silence. Please. Dear comrades, I would like to say that the special military operation is unfolding according to schedule, according to the plan. All the goals set by us has been achieved. The Defense Ministry is going to give a more detailed report about that. Mr. Shoigu, please. Dear comrades, on 24th of February, we have started the special military operation in Ukraine, and we wanted to protect our people in Donbass, to ensure security of our homeland. Russian soldiers and officers are acting bravely as true heroes. Our servicemen are fighting resiliently with absolute understanding of the righteousness of their cause. Even after being wounded, soldiers and officers continue fighting. They sacrifice themselves, their lives, to save their brothers in arms and civilians. During the battles, our servicemen and militiamen from Donbass, they really show heroism. I would like to talk about 100th Brigade that acts near Donetsk. Alexei Berngantner, Colonel Alexei Berngantner, near Volnevacha, they burst through layered defense. Nationalists have been building and equipping this defense for almost 8 years. The commander of the tank squad, Lieutenant Viktor Sokolnik, during the battle destroyed 5 tanks. On 25th of February, near Chudinka, commander of the company 163rd Tank Regiment, Captain Alexei Lovkin, faced units of nationalists that had 15 tanks and 6 personal carriers, armed carriers. And he destroyed all the vehicles and 5 tanks. He reached the goal set to him without any casualties. I have signed a decree about awarding Lieutenant Nurmagomed Gachi Magomedov and a title of Hero of Russia, unfortunately, posthumously. During the battle, he led his fighters with confidence. As a true commander, he was trying to save lives of his soldiers. After being heavily wounded, he fought until the last, and he blew up with a grenade the fighters around him and himself. He did this because he understood who he fought against, neo-Nazis who were torturing prisoners and killing them horribly. I'm Russian, and as the saying goes, I have Ivans and Marias among my families mostly, but when I see examples of such heroic behavior as this exploit by this young guy, Mr. Nurmagomedov, a Dagestani, Lak person, other our warriors, I would like to say I'm Lak as well. I'm Dagestani, I'm Chechen, I'm Ingush, Russian, Tatar, Jewish, Mordvin, Ossetian. There are more than 300 ethnic groups, national groups in Russia, and I can go on and on listing them. I think you understand why I can't do it now, but I'm proud of being part of this world, part of this mighty, strong, multi-ethnic people of Russia. And at the same time, I will now never renounce my statement that Russians and Ukrainians are the same people, even though part of Ukrainians were intimidated. A lot of them were brainwashed by the Nazi propaganda. And some of them did this deliberately, followed the path of Bandera followers and other collaborators of Nazis who during the Great Patriotic War fought on the side of Hitler. And the fact that we are fighting neo-Nazis is proven by how the fighting goes. Nationalists and neo-Nazis units, and among them there are foreign mercenaries as well, including mercenaries from the Middle East, hiding behind civilians, using them as human shields. And I've said that before. We have facts, we have photographs of how they deploy heavy weaponry in residential areas of cities. And that's how they do. That's how the worst gangsters are doing it. And instead of fulfilling their promises about removing the weapons from residential areas, from kindergartens, from hospitals, they do the opposite. They put more mortar guns, more tanks, more artillery in there. And they are taking hostage foreign citizens, including thousands of students, those who studied, went to college in Ukraine for more than one day. At the train station in Kharkiv, 3,179 Indian citizens were held prisoner there. And they're still there. Most of them are still there, including 576 people in Sumy. Neo-Nazis opened fire on Chinese students who tried to leave Kharkiv. 2 of them were wounded. Once again, hundreds of foreigners want to leave the area of hostilities, but they are not allowed to. Basically, they are taking prisoners, or they suggest to evacuate via Lvov to Poland. So they want them to move across the entire hostilities zone, putting their lives under risk. Our servicemen opened corridors in all the areas where the battle is going. They are providing them with transport so that civilians, foreign citizens, had a chance to move to safer zones. Once again, nationalists are not allowing to do that, more than that. Now they are telling foreign citizens to appeal to their authorities, and their authorities are supposed to appeal the Ukrainian Foreign Ministry. Basically, they are throwing them under fire. What's worse, neo-Nazis are treating their own population even worse, even their own people. They are hiding behind them. They are using them as human shields. Our military are talking about such facts in Donbass, in Severodonetsk, and Lysychansk, and other Donbass cities. People from the residential high-risers, they are crowded in the middle of the building, and then on the bottom floors, on the ground floors, they deploy tanks and cannons, and on the roof, they deploy machine guns and snipers. Only fascists use these military tactics. They use such an inhumane attitude towards civilians when Soviet forces fought against them, including when they liberated the territory of Ukraine. Our soldiers and officers try to avoid civilian casualties, and unfortunately, they take casualties themselves. And our duty is to support the families of our killed in action and wounded in action who fought for the security of our homeland, for our people of Russia. All the family members of the servicemen who died during the special military operation in Ukraine will get insurance payments as per the law and lump sums, more than 7 million rubles, and they will also get monthly compensation to every family member of those who were killed. But other than that, I think it is necessary to have additional payment to every family of those who were killed. I'm talking about servicemen of the Defense Ministry and from the officers from other, soldiers from other law enforcement agency of 5 million rubles. All the servicemen who were wounded during the operation will also get compensation. What I mean is insurance payments and lump sums for getting wounded, injured, or shell-shocked. If a serviceman can't continue his contract with the armed forces, he will be reimbursed with 2,800,000 rubles. If they become disabled, they will get monthly welfare. All these measures are already in legislation. At the same time, I think we should have additional payments for the servicemen of the Defense Ministry and of other law enforcement agencies that participate in the operation and who were wounded, which is 3 million rubles. Once again, I would like to underscore, now in Ukraine, our soldiers and officers are fighting for Russia, for peaceful life of the people of Donbass, to denazify and demilitarize Ukraine, so that no anti-Russia that has been built by the West next to our borders didn't threaten us with nuclear weapons, as well as that has been happening recently. Our people are proud of their armed forces. We will always remember our fallen comrades. We will do everything to support their families, their children, to educate them, to support their close ones and loved ones. Let's honor the memory of our warriors who were killed when they were realizing their duty during the operation in Ukraine. Please. Dear comrades, I would like to say that the special military operation has been unfolding in according with the schedule, according with the plan. All the goals we have set has been met. Now Defense Ministry will give us detailed report. Please, Mr. Shoigu.